All right, welcome to day 2 of the 3-step client acquisition system workshop. Sounds like a little ditty, sounds like a little sing-song. Welcome. It was so great having you guys yesterday. I'm really excited to dig in with y'all today. I'm happy to see all the people that attended both yesterday and everybody that's coming in here with us today. As a reminder, it's going to be only in the Zoom room that you will be able to access the live recording. So really, really important for everybody to know that. Let's see here. It's kind of funky here. Sorry, y'all. Before we get going here, I'm seeing a whiteboard here. Can I close out that whiteboard? Hey, Tabitha, if you're able to close out that whiteboard, there we go. Zoom is wild. Zoom's gone wild. All right, y'all, let's let's hit the ground running here. I don't know what that was. All of a sudden a whiteboard appears. Very excited to talk to you guys today. As I said, drop it in the chat. What did you get out of the session? Any light bulb moments, anything that was helpful? I want to make sure I know what you got out of the session so that I can make sure to give you more of that as we continue on this week. So today's session, day 2, get out your workbooks. Hold them up. If you're a printer outer person, hold them up in the air. If you're like me and you got to have things printed. Also, for those of you who have it online, we do have a fillable version of this where you can type in your answers online. So feel free to use the fillable version of your workshop as well. And if you need the workbook, put into the chat, workbook. I need my workbook. Put that into the chat if you need a workbook, and Tabitha and Heather will share with you a link to a fillable version of the workbook. And you will want this because honestly, today especially, we are going to be attaching ourselves to this workbook. Everything that I cover is going to be directly correlated to what we cover. So if you need the workbook, make sure you drop into the chat workbook. Tabitha and Heather, part of my team here, Tabitha Allman, Heather Copi, they are sharing in the chat a link to the fillable workbook. So Alex got from our last session his coaching title. That's incredible. Love it, love it. Patty, you missed day 1. No worries. If you missed day 1, put into the chat replay. If you missed day 1, put into the chat replay, and your workshop concierge will reach out to you and get you your replay. Jessica's getting some more direction on how to define her niche. Amazing. And that was the homework yesterday, was coming up with the urgent problem you're going to solve, because it's going to help you as you're acquiring clients while still at your 9 to 5. It's only going to serve to help you. Some of you in the Facebook group have asked for some of my feedback on the urgent problem you're solving or your niche statement, and I will absolutely give you feedback. So either you're going to see me giving you feedback in the Facebook group, or I'm going to bring your question to our rapid fire Q&A happening later this week, and we can go through it live together. I can give you feedback, etc. So that's great. Greg says conduct market research was a very was a way to touch your network. Absolutely. And we're going to continue on in that topic today. So great. Let's get started here. I'm going to check real quick. Just want to make sure, tech check. Drop into the chat as we're getting started and people are coming in here today. Drop into the chat why. I'd like to hear also, because I know some people didn't join day 1, where you're watching from. Drop that into the chat. Where are you watching from? Just for the people that didn't, they weren't able to join yesterday. I think that will be helpful to do that. And as you guys are doing that, I'm just going to make sure that we are good to roll. All right. So day 2, today's topic, turn the page in your workbook to page 4. Page 4 in your workbook looks a little something like this. Turn to page 4 in your workbook. Topic 2. This is the second step in the client acquisition system. So it's a 3-step client acquisition system. Yesterday, day 1, we talked about a form of using your inner circle or your network to potentially get your first couple paying clients. And today we're going to talk about how to use market research. Which is something you should be doing anyways. How to use that to get your first couple paying clients. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Day 2 of the client acquisition system workshop. Again, this 3-step client acquisition system is really the first step. For those of you still in your corporate job, which is probably most of you, that's most of my clients, or you're still in your full-time gig, this is the first step you want to take in order to eventually be able to replace your 6-figure corporate income with a full-time coaching business. This is the first step you want to take. You don't want to wait for you to say, okay, goodbye corporate job, and now let me start working on my business and getting clients, right? We want you to start getting clients now so that you can start seeing not only how it feels, not only getting paid, but you're essentially validating, hey, this works. I can do this as a full-time gig. And then once you see the money coming in month by month, there will come a time when you're like, okay, this is working. I'm ready to take the leap and go all in. But we have to get started on that now. So this is the first step to the kind of longer vision of building out your coaching business, right? Getting the niche locked in and your messaging, building your coaching package and your signature method, launching your coaching business, right? Website, client attraction system. So that's going to be something bigger, a little bit more advanced than what we're talking about today. Today's the simplified version, right? But eventually when you're all systems go, you're going to need to build the bigger version of the client attraction system, and then learning how to close deals, essentially run discovery sessions. So that comes later. This is the first step. So you're right where you need to be. Okay. So my name is Betty Kempa. For those of you who missed day 1, who haven't met me yet, I'm the founder of the Corporate 6-Figure Coach Academy, business coach for coaches, marketing strategist, LinkedIn lover of LinkedIn. I'm an IPEC graduate. Who are my IPEC people in the house? Also, Maria, you're in Tampa. Well, we're neighbors. I'm right south of Tampa, kind of south of St. Pete. So we are close, my friend. What else want to say? If you're from IPEC, drop into the chat. Who are my IPECians with me today? What's up, Cicely? Always curious to know. That's where I was certified. I'm a Forbes Coaches Council member. I was ranked one of the top business coaches in Tampa by Influence Digest, and I help corporate renegades like yourself ditch the 9-to-5 and repackage your genius that's already within you into a 6-figure coaching business. So that's what I do. All right, so grab your workbook, have it on hand. We're going to take notes directly into the workbook. Again, Tabitha, if you need the workbook and you're just joining, I see people continuing to join, just say workbook, and Tabitha can drop the link in again if you don't have access to the link she dropped in earlier. Just comment workbook. And by the way, if you have not already connected with me or your bootcamp concierge, so I've assigned to you guys either Tabitha Allman, who's on my team, or Heather Copi as your workshop concierge. So what's the point of that? They are here to answer all your questions, to customize this experience for you, to help direct you to whatever you need, replays, questions, right? We even have additional trainings available to you. So it is really important. Do be sure, that's kind of the magic of this workshop, to have a personalized concierge that is with you lockstep, but you have to take the step to make sure that you're responding to their messages or reaching out to them, etc. By the way, if you don't know who your workshop concierge contact is, put into the chat, just put contact. Just say, I need a contact, put contact, and then we'll be able to look at our little spreadsheet and see who we matched you up with. Okay, good. There's a couple people that aren't sure. The girls will make sure that they check out the spreadsheet and reach out to you. Now, side note, if you registered, probably what happened is they sent you a Facebook DM. If you're not friends with them, it might have gone to your spam. So remember to check your Facebook DM, that little spam bucket, people that are trying to contact you who aren't your friends, that black hole. And the easiest way to do it too. So for example, for Lisa, Heather says, it's me. So Lisa, you could just DM Heather, and on Facebook, just send her a Facebook DM. Hey, Heather. And then you guys will be able to, see each other's DMs. So this is good. We'll make sure you guys are all connected. At some point during tonight's session, so I get excited doing these, not sure when, but at some point tonight, I'm going to be announcing the winner of our first drawing for a gift card. So we're going to do our first drawing for a gift card. I like doing these. We'll be doing this all week. To be eligible for our daily gift card drawings, you need to do two things. You need to post in the homework thread that goes live after each session. So you'll go into the Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business Facebook group, and Tabitha or Heather, if you could put that in the link of the Zoom, the Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business Facebook group. So you're going to want to head into that Facebook group, and there's going to be one homework question. Tabitha is going to post one homework question. It's going to be a picture of me with a homework question. You just need to answer it. So that's the first thing you need to do, answer the homework question. And the second thing is you need to show up live. And sometimes it's hard for us to see who's live, who's here, who's not here. So make sure you're engaging with us in the chat so we can see who's here live. And those are the two things you need to do to be in the drawing and for us to be able to announce a winner. So I'll be announcing the first winner tonight for the first gift card. Reminder, I'll be teaching live on Zoom. Reminder, same Zoom link for every session. We're doing it this time, not in the Facebook group, but on Zoom. We're using the Facebook group for things like homework, questions, engagement, right? Talking to you guys wherever you need help or feedback. But we're going live here on Zoom. The Facebook will also hold replays, recordings, if you can't make it live, etc. I'll be live on Zoom here, same Zoom link, every night this week, Monday through Friday. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for about an hour. I try not to go over. I went a little over yesterday. I'll try not to. I'm running 2 additional sessions on the weekend as well. We'll be going live Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be going earlier over the weekend so you guys can get out and enjoy the sun, if it's sunny where you are. Very important for you to know this, write this down on your workbook. All of our videos and training, the replays, whatever, everything to do with this workshop is going to be stripped down from the Facebook group, from wherever you see them, from YouTube, whatever. It's going to be stripped down by this upcoming Tuesday, right? So a week from today, today's Tuesday. What is that? The 21st. So Tuesday, the 21st at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Whoop, we're ripping them down. So it's just important for you to know if you need to go back and revisit any replays, etc. All right, so those are my housekeeping announcements. It's time to do it. Let's set our intention. So put into the chat, what is your intention, either for tonight or for this workshop? Drop it into the chat. If we say it, we're making it real. So let's set our intention now. Drop into the chat. What is your intention for tonight or for this workshop? Drop it into the chat. Let's set our intention. It's time to take strategic and focused action. Commit to following through until completion, right? Just a couple of these workshop days, right, are probably not going to do it. You're going to want to commit to doing this through until completion. So you have all the info you need. You can have the 3-step client acquisition system not only laid out for you, but start to implement. Some of you may already get clients by the time we're done with this workshop, if you're heavy into the implementation. Okay. So guys, give me in the chat a let's do this. Give me some energy. I'm going to give myself some fireworks. Give me some emojis. Give me your power word. And let's dive into tonight's content and take one step forward in replacing your corporate income with a coaching business. All right. So let's get into it tonight. How to use market research in order to attract clients. And I love the energy here. Patty says, let's do this. We got Greg ready to do it. I love Patty's intention. It's getting started. Stop procrastinating. Yeah, we're with you. Guess who often procrastinates the most? Perfectionist. So I feel that. Rachel's with us. Fire emoji, Cheryl, Leah, let's do this. Love it. Sheila's intention to complete this group and start my business. I love it. Love. All right. So we're going to just jump right in here. So page 4, y'all, page 4. So market research, I'm just looking back to see if I have my whiteboard. I don't think I'll need it tonight. Market research mastery. I want to start by saying this. There are many different ways to conduct market research for a business, any business. And all businesses should be conducting market research, big or small. There are many different ways to conduct market research, online especially. That's the beauty, right, of the age we are in, where we have all this data at our fingertips online, right? So there are many ways to conduct market research. And I cover all those different ways to conduct market research in the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy, which is the academy I run, just like it sounds, right? For people, corporate to coach, building their six-figure coaching business. So I cover all the market research in that program. However, tonight, we are going to specifically be talking about the number one, in my opinion, form of market research in order to acquire clients. I wonder if any of you could guess what I'm about to say. Which way of conducting market research is the number one way of acquiring clients? Drop it in the chat. I'm just curious if anybody knows where I'm about to go with this. Anybody have any guesses here? I'm just curious. I talk about it a lot, so that's why I was like, oh, some of my usual suspects may know. Melissa says coffee chats. Cicely, social media. Yep. I like that you guys are doing all of the guesses here. Yeah. And so actually, in a way, you're all kind of right. Because you might use social media to do this. You might, it's going to be some form of talking to people for sure, Patty. Some way of networking, right? For sure. And by the way, everything you guys are mentioning are great ways of doing market research. Santina got it though. The ideal client avatar interview. That's what I'm going to be talking about today, because it's a really great way to slide into a potential client. The process of conducting an ideal client avatar interview is a great way to slide into a potential client. Because by the end of that interview, even if it's a 15-minute interview, you now know their deepest, darkest, urgent problems and pain points. You know their dreams and goals. You know why it's so important to them, right? It's a really smooth way to potentially slide into a potential client. But here's the key. We are not going to, nor would I say to ever, pitch your services during an ideal client avatar survey. You're not going to like, oh, I'm here to just do market research and then let me pitch you. We're not doing that. That would be, in my opinion, somewhat unethical, because the way that I'm going to teach you guys is, to tell people like it is. This is the ideal client avatar survey is not a sales call. It's not. It's market research. So we're going to take a couple different steps until we get to the pitch. So I'm going to walk you through it. Great guesses, everybody. And again, all great ways to conduct market research. The other important thing about market research in general that I will say, when, this is part of the training I do in the academy, I want all of you on this call to start thinking of your coaching business. Because I think a lot of us, when we like our language, play it small, and all of that, we think about, well, it's just little old me running my coaching business. I don't even have any clients yet, or maybe I have a few, right? I want you guys to start thinking of your business, not only as a 6-figure business, I want you guys to start thinking of your coaching business as a 7-figure business, right? I want you to, when you look at even like a Fortune 500 company, and how they do market research, and they take it very seriously, conducting market research and getting into the minds of their ideal client avatars. That's how serious I want you guys to take this. Treat your business like it's already where you want it to be. Treat your business like it's already where you want it to be. Okay, really important. Cheryl, do you think sharing a nugget of info in the interview is good if not pitching anything and they see you have what they need? Great question, Cheryl. So, I get so excited. I just want to give you the answer right away, but I'm going to give you the answer to that by tonight, because I'm going to walk you through the whole thing, the whole flow of conversation. And here's what I would say. Do you think sharing a nugget of info is good? I wouldn't, unless they ask. I wouldn't share a nugget of info about my business unless they ask. If they're like, wow, is this what you do? Then by all means, yeah, I'm going to answer their question. Getting into the pitch, yeah, if they ask me a question during my ICA survey about my business, I'm going to answer it. But am I going to try to take what I already told them, hey, it's just a 15-minute survey, and am I going to try to shove in a discovery call into that 15-minute survey? No, because I don't ever want to run, I don't like to call them sales calls, but I don't want to run. And the reason I don't like to call it that is because it's a service. Even a sales call it's a service, right? We're sharing with people, this is how I can help you with your challenges. I would never want to feel rushed on my part or their part to walk through the pitch, or however you want to put it. So answer questions, yes. Pitch, no. I would say, hey, you know what? Let's schedule a separate call and I'll walk you through the entire program. I'll ask you a couple more questions to see if you're a fit. You can ask me some questions, and I would schedule that before I got off the call with them. So that's my answer to you, Cheryl. And then also, for the people that don't ask any questions on the ICA survey about your business, I'm going to share with you how to capture those people as well. But good question. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to go first question on page 4. First question on page 4. So it says, the number one way to use market research, I said mastery to acquire clients is ideal client avatar surveys. So write that down. Top of page 4. The answer is ideal client avatar surveys. Now, I want to be clear on the definition of an ideal client avatar survey. So right here where it says the definition of, I want you to put, now I just use acronyms, ICA survey, so I don't have to keep writing it out. ICA survey or ideal client avatar survey. So let's talk about the definition of ideal client avatar survey. So here's what it is. And Tabitha and Heather are going to drop some of what I'm saying in the chat in case you didn't catch what I'm about to tell you. The girls will put it in the chat. And P.S., Heather and Tabitha, the answer sheet that I gave you girls is updated with all the answers for you as well. So here it is. What I want to make sure we're using the same definition. The definition of an ICA survey is, first let's talk, I'm going to split it apart. I'm going to talk about the definition of an ideal client avatar, and then I'm going to talk about the definition of this particular survey, an ICA survey. An ideal client avatar is a representation of your ideal client or ideal customer. So what's ideal to you may not be ideal to me. You picking up what I'm putting down? So we kind of touched on that yesterday. It's a and so that's pretty obvious, right? It's a represent. I'm not going to interview somebody that I'm like, oh, I wouldn't want to really work with them. Then I'm not interviewing them. I'm interviewing people that to me, I'm like, that would be my ideal client. I wish there were 50 more of those people. Okay. Sometimes you might also hear other phrases used for ideal client avatar. You'll hear phrases, especially in the corporate world, like buyer persona, a buyer persona. I was in corporate retail for a while. We named our ideal client avatar. One of the companies I worked in corporate retail, we named her Sydney. Sydney. And we talked all about what would Sydney do and what would Sydney say. So it could be a buyer persona, a marketing persona, because you use that information for marketing purposes. It could be called a client profile. It's got all the details on that particular persona, a client profile. But this is the type of human that will want to purchase your coaching service, right? I'm not going to interview somebody who I'm going to have to convince to work with me. Sometimes I hear coaches talk about, well, they just don't know they have a problem and I just got to make them see. No, you don't. Do not choose a niche or a target market or an ICA survey with people that aren't looking for help with the problem you solve. You picking up what I'm putting down? We are looking to solve an urgent problem that people are already looking for help with. This person is already looking for help with this. It keeps them up at night. So don't pick someone where it clashes, okay? Now let's talk about the survey piece of it. The survey piece of the ICA survey, it's like I said, a form of market research. It means that, and let me be clear, you are asking your ICA, you're asking them questions to learn about who they are, who is this person, what are their needs and wants, especially as it pertains to your niche. So if I'm a career coach, I'm probably not going to be asking them about needs and wants as it pertains to the relationship they're in. You picking up what I'm putting down? If I'm a leadership coach, I'm gonna want to know your needs and wants as it pertains to you being a leader, right? Which sometimes will meld into other worlds, right? You might have leaders who say, I'm going into burnout. So then you become a burnout coach for executives, right? But a survey is you're asking your ICA questions to learn about who they are, what are their needs and wants, and what are their challenges, right? So, and this should all be around your niche. So whether it's divorce, career, I'm a health coach, I'm a relationship coach, I'm a leadership coach, we're asking them questions around that bucket, okay? Specifically, and this is the most important part, you are trying to uncover their words that they use to describe their urgent problem. Okay. Do not try to take the interview and put it in your own words. Don't do that. We need their exact words. Okay. The other piece of it, do not send a survey via email or online. Don't do that. And I know it would feel easier, wouldn't it? Just shoot out a bunch of surveys online. Here's why. There's two main reasons. One, for this to work, client acquisition, the ICA survey needs to be done human to human, face to face. I mean, I don't care if it's over the phone. That's fine. You could do it over the phone. You could do it over Zoom. You could do, like somebody said, a coffee chat, right? You could do it in person. I don't care how, but it needs to be a conversation, a dialogue, not just flipping out a survey, right? And the reason for that is you'll understand by the end of this training it's going to be hard to make the transition we need to make into the next step of this process towards them becoming a client if you just shoot it out online as a survey. That's the first reason I don't want you to do it as a survey online. The second reason is during an ICA survey, oftentimes you're going to get generic high-level answers from people. Okay. So I might say, hey, Lisa, thanks for coming on camera again too, guys. Appreciate that. And totally fine to be off camera. Listen, I'm off camera a lot of the time. Totally fine, but it's nice to see some faces. So for example, I might be interviewing Lisa. Let's say I'm making this up. I'm interviewing her about being a leader. I'm like, what are your challenges when it comes to, you've been a leader for this many years. What are your challenges? And maybe Lisa tells me, well, long hours, right? It's like, if that was a survey that she sent to me, I'd be like, what do I do if that's not enough info? So what you're going to need to do, you're not here to coach, but you are here to dig. Okay, long hours, tell me more. You guys know in coaching, those are magical words. That's a magical phrase. Tell me more. Tell me more. Or asking her long hours. Why does that affect you? Or how does that affect you? I don't want to assume like it's negative, right? But how does that affect you, Lisa? How does that affect you at home? How does that affect you at work? How does that affect you? And you want to dig, both for internal, how does it, on the inside, and external things, right? Internal and external. So that's the other reason we don't want to kick out a survey online. You can't dig. And you need to dig to get the specific words of their problems and their goals. So again, I want to be clear, an ICA survey, and you only need to run, if you want, for the purpose of client acquisition and this exercise, this could be a 20-minute call. Could be a 20-minute call if you want it to. Depends on how much time the person has you're interviewing. But I want to be clear, this is not a coaching call. Please, and this is hard for coaches. Isn't it so hard? It's like, it's hard even in real life, right? When you're hearing like a family member or friend and you're like, don't coach, because you're just like, but this is not a coaching call because they didn't ask to be coached, right? So we're doing market research. It's not a coaching call. It's not a sales call. It's not a sales call. We're not there yet. This is strictly research. Michael, how many people do we need to conduct ICA surveys with to assume it's representative of the market? Great question. So here's what I would say. With my clients in the academy, I like to encourage people to go for 15. I encourage people to go for 15. And I'll tell you guys this, for me, for any coach, you should be conducting ICA surveys at least once a year. So, because sometimes we get so into it, it's like you got to take yourself back out of it. And also trends change, things change. So you have to remove yourself and, do it again and again. Santina, I love it. My husband caught me coaching him the other day. I love it. He's like, you're coaching me right now. I know, I've gotten that before too. It's very funny. So that's, that's gold star 15. But like I said, every year we got to get a refresher. For the sake of this workshop, where I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed and, you got all this stuff going on, I'm going to tell you to let's go for 3 to 5, just to get started. Let's get started with 3 to 5. And I'll tell you this, once you hit 5, you are going to start to see trends. Once you hit 5, you're going to start to see trends. And that is the goal besides getting clients. Obviously, that's part of the goal is to start seeing trends. And the bottom line is this, the more conversations you have, and that includes the more ICA surveys you have, the higher the probability you'll get a client. I hate to say it's a numbers game, but metrics, it can be a numbers game. So great question. 15 is gold star. But for the sake of this workshop, let's start with 3 to 5. 3 to 5. Like everything, I just want you guys to get your feet wet. Okay. Okay. I also want to tell you guys this. So you're going into this with the right mindset. So again, a bottom of page 4. So write this down, bottom of page 4. Your ICA surveys. So fill that in here. ICA surveys. If anybody is new, just joining and needs the workbook, say workbook. Tabitha will, because I don't know, Tabitha, if they can see the comments at the top. So say workbook if you need Tabitha to drop the link again. So ICA surveys will also help you too. I'm going to tell you a couple other things they'll help you to do, because I want you to go into this understanding how important these are. It's not just about getting clients. It is, but it's more than that. You're playing not just the short game, and you are playing the short game. You'll get some clients out of this, but you're also playing the long game. So number one, the first thing I want you to write down, ICA surveys are going to help you with more than just getting clients. First thing is, it's going to help you update your niche statement. So write that down. It's going to help you update your niche statement. And we'll see. Tabitha just dropped in the link for you. It's going to help you update your niche statement, your I help who with what, so that, because guess what? Your niche statement should be their words, not our words, their words. So that's when you start to look for trends. You get 5 people you interviewed. You're like, man, everybody's describing the problem as this, right? So that's number one. Drop that into your workbook. Number two, the second thing ICA surveys will help you do is to understand your ICA's biggest, most urgent problem. Their biggest, most urgent problem. That's going to be important. Okay. Understand their biggest, most urgent problem when it comes to your niche, right? If I'm a leadership coach, I'm not asking, like, tell me all your problems. Like, oh, I'm getting a divorce and my dog and my kids and finance. Like, no, tell me about your problems as it relates to whatever type of coach you are, leadership, career, right, etc. So be clear on that with people and seek out people who are in that space, who need help in that space. And I also want you to understand that people, this is a human psychology thing. Humans seek help with a problem when they are in pain. That's it. People seek help with a problem when they're in pain. So we got to understand the pain. We got to understand the problem, right? And like I said, you do not want to be marketing to solve a problem that the client isn't worried about solving. So if your niche statement is all about helping people find abundance, right? And then you do 5 surveys and not one ICA mentioned the word abundance in their survey, you need to remove that word and focus your messaging, your marketing on solving the problem that they tell you is keeping them up at night. Now, will you help them find abundance? Yes. There's a lot of things you're going to help them do that they don't understand yet, because they don't know what they don't know, but the messaging has to be in their words. Okay. So number 2 is helping your ICA it's going to help you to understand your ICA's biggest, most urgent problem. And if let's just say this, I'm a career coach and they just dump me with a bazillion problems. I'm going to say, great, so helpful. So you just gave me these 5 problems, this, acknowledge and validate, acknowledge, validate. I'm going to say, out of those 5 problems you shared, which do you feel is the most urgent problem that keeps you up at night that you would pay anything to have help solved? And I would use that word, that you would pay anything, because that puts people in a different mindset. It's one thing for them to just complain to their girlfriend or to their wife or whoever. It's another thing for them to say, I'd pay anything to solve it. That's the one we're looking for, okay? Number three, write this down. Number 3, ICA surveys will also help you to uncover not just their pain and problem, but their dream, their goal, the outcome they want to achieve, the flip side, right? How's that going to help you? Well, that's going to help you update the so that in your I help who with what so that statement, right? So you're asking them questions like, why do you want to achieve that goal? How will you feel once you achieve that goal? Who will you become once you achieve that goal? How will life be different once you achieve that goal? Right? So the so that statement, that could go in your niche headline, and that could go into all kinds of marketing, your website, social media, etc. Okay? So again, 1, ICA surveys will help you with your niche statement. 2, ICA surveys will help you understand the urgent problem. 3, ICA surveys will help you uncover the dream and the goal. 4, ICA surveys will help you decide what you need to include in your coaching package. What you need to include in your coaching package. And that includes, and this is part of Mod 2, what I teach in the Corporate to Six-Figure Coach Academy. Y'all need to be building out a signature methodology, right? Steps or pillars that you take to get your client from pain to dream. So when you do these types of surveys, you're going to know, okay, I got to account for that problem, and that problem in my signature method. And when they read your signature method on your website, the copy, they'll be like, oh my gosh, this was like, she's in my head. And they should be thinking that. Okay, so number 4, it'll help you decide what to go in the coaching package. Number 5, just in general, ICA surveys will provide you words and phrases to use in all copy. So I'm talking about your website, social media post. You guys, I see too many social media posts that are coachy language, and I love me some coachy language. We are coaches. But social media posts need to be for your ICA in their language, okay? So website copy, social media copy, emails. People are like, what do I write about in my emails? Well, what did your ICAs tell you, right? And last, number 6, ICA surveys are going to help you identify where did these guys hang out, right? And that could be either online, what Facebook groups are they in, what forums are they in, what newsletters do they subscribe to, right? If you're working with executive women in tech and you're like, oh, are there any online groups that you are a part of for women in tech? Are there any forums that you partake in for women in tech? And then also in person, hey, are there any events you go to for women leaders in tech? Are there any, where do you go to help find help with problems? Some of the problems you shared with me, where do you go? And that's golden, because now you know how to infiltrate to find more people. Okay. So again, I'm just trying to get you guys pumped up that these ICA surveys are going to help in many different ways. Okay. Questions, drop them in the chat. So I'm talking at you. So those are bonuses on top of getting clients. I also want to say, I totally understand that I want to acknowledge and validate. It may, and I'm doing it from the point of an introvert, it may feel uncomfortable reaching out to an ideal client avatar for an ICA survey. But I gave you all these other reasons because I really want you to bite the bullet, lean in to the discomfort, because your coaching business, your full-time coaching business that replaces your corporate income and more, is on the other side of this work. It's on the other side of this work. This is how you get started, okay? Very important. The bottom of page 4, fill this in, fill this in. Ask questions during your ICA survey around, and there's 4 things. Get ready to fill this out. And I've already said it, but I want to be very clear. Number 1, the urgent problem that keeps them up at night that they would pay anything to solve. Let me repeat that for the people in the back, and Tabitha will be also pasting this into the chat. Ask questions about what is the, and so here's what I would say. Like if I'm a relationship coach, I'd say, as it pertains to your relationship, what is the urgent problem that keeps you up at night that you would pay anything to solve? If I'm a health coach, as it relates to your health, describe to me the urgent problem that keeps you up at night that you'd pay anything to have help solved. So lead them down the path of the niche bucket and then let them give you the problems. Okay. Number two, write this down. The dream, the outcome, the goal. So I would say, as it pertains to if I'm a health coach, hey, so, okay, you told me about the biggest problem you're facing. But now let's talk about your goal, your dream, right? If I could sprinkle fairy dust on you, what is the outcome you wish you could achieve for your health, let's say in the next 6 months or in the next year, right? What's the outcome you're wanting to achieve as it relates to fill in the blank, whatever your niche is. Number three, write this down. Where do they hang out? So, hey, so you're, as it relates to your health, and you told me your biggest problem was, lack of energy and you want to go down a couple sizes or whatever they told you, I would say, where do you go for help solving that problem currently? Where do you go, either in person or online? I would say, are you a part of any Facebook groups? Are you a part of any online forums? Doesn't need to be Facebook. Are you a part of any online forums? What about in person? Do you go to any events, any conferences, right? So try to get out of them where they congregate with other people like them to solve their problem. And number four, write this down. Do you know anybody else just like you who has, who cares about fill in the blank, whatever the niche is? They care about their health. They're trying to solve XYZ problem. Do you know anybody else like that who you could potentially introduce me to so that I could run a couple more ideal? And they won't understand ICA survey. So I would say, do you know anyone like this that you could introduce me to so I could do a little bit more market research? And then you see how the snowball keeps rolling. So that's how I would end the questions, right? Do you know anyone else just like you as it pertains to this problem that you could introduce me to so I could run a little bit more market research, right? Questions, drop them in the chat. Are you with me? Give me an emoji if you're with me. Hopefully this is tracking. Are you with me? Are you with me? Michael, how would you approach a prospective client to conduct the ICA survey? I'm having trouble figuring out how to approach people that I think of. Oh, yes. Okay, this is what we're going to end on. Michael, I love it. Like, if this was a game of chess, you're like 3 steps ahead of me. I love it. Okay, we'll get to that right now. Patty, it's tracking. Rachel, you're with me, Cicely. Okay, great. Okay, so let's move on to Michael's question because I want to get that answered, and that's how we're going to end tonight. And then I'm going to announce the winner. So I don't know if we'll end in 8 minutes, but stay with me a couple minutes after. I promise I won't run too much longer after the hour. Okay, so turn the page. Michael, I'll have your question answered here by the end of the session. Page 5. Fill it in, top of page 5. I'm just reinforcing to you guys because it's so important. Please only run ICA surveys, write this down, with actual ideal client avatars who you want to work with and can afford your package. Now, I know that it's like, well, I'm not in your wallet. I don't know if they can afford it. So it might be as simple as, asking them questions around like, hey, how much would you pay for this type of a service? It might be looking on LinkedIn at their job title, right? It's kind of hard to tell because we're not doing pre-qualifying questions. But, you really want to think about, like, how do I want to put this? If you're interviewing college students, you got to understand that potentially it's going to be a lower package price. Now, for me, what I teach is I teach my clients, because my clients are corporate, how to sell high ticket packages. Why do I teach that? because then my clients can sell 1 to 2 per month, 1 to 2 per month, and achieve their financial goals. So that means you got to run ICA surveys with people who, if you're solving a problem they need solved, they can afford it. Okay. And you're running surveys with how that falls into the niche bucket. How do you find people? So Lisa, yes to what Tabitha said, but also how do you find people? We're going to talk about it tomorrow. So on page 7 of the workbook, where to find your perfect prospects, I'm literally going to run through that whole thing tomorrow, Lisa. But I will say this. I will say this. This is where I want you guys to start. And then we'll cover tomorrow all the different places you can find people. Start with your inner circle. Start with them. That's what we talked about yesterday. So if you didn't watch yesterday's training, everybody, catch the replay. Put replay in the chat if you need the replay, and your concierge will get it to you. Start with your inner circle, your network. See if they can refer you somebody. You'll see in that tracker. And if you didn't get the tracker, put that in the chat. Tracker for the ICA, the inner circle, put that in the chat if you didn't get the tracker. Tabitha and Heather, the tracker link is in the answer key. You can put it in the chat for people, or you guys can DM them the tracker afterwards. Start with your network. You'll see the script in the tracker. Basically, it says to your network, hey, do you know anybody like this? If you guys remember that attended yesterday, we asked that to our network. Do you know anyone like this you could introduce me to? I'm building my network, blah, blah, blah. Right? So I would start with your inner circle. And then tomorrow we'll cover all the ways to find ICA surveys or ICAs. Now I'm going to give you some juicy little scripts to make this super easy for you. And Michael, we're also getting to answering your question here. Okay. So the first script, and Tabitha is going to drop in the chat. I made it kind of like a Mad Libs here. Tabitha will drop in the chat the entire script. So this is what you'd say. Use your inner circle tracker. And I told you guys yesterday, your homework was come up with 5 people in your network that you're going to start to network with. We talked about that yesterday. I would use this script, okay? It's at the top here. Hey, Jane. Maybe Jane's my neighbor. Jane, it's been so good chatting with you. Hey, question for you, Jane. I am currently ramping up my coaching business, helping whatever your target market is. Insert target market. Because if you don't tell Jane the type of people you're helping, she's going to be like, I don't know who. People? Professionals? Who? So you have to, that's why the niche, that's what I cover in the academy. I get very specific. You got to be specific with the who. If you're struggling with that, put it in the chat. Put it in the Facebook group. We'll talk about it in the rapid fire Q&A. So you're going to say, hey, Jane, I'm ramping up my coaching business, helping insert target market people do insert the niche statement that you help them do, the urgent problem you help them solve, or the specific outcome you help them achieve, right? So I would say, hey, I'm helping corporate renegades ditch their 9-to-5 and replace their corporate income with the 6-figure coaching business. So I'm telling that to my neighbor, right? I'm saying, hey, in researching the type of coaching package that I'm building, I need to do some market research with people that fall into that category. I need to learn what their challenges and goals are. Would you happen to know anybody like this that you could connect me with via 3-way email or Facebook DM? It would be just a 20-minute phone call, no pitch, just an informational interview. So I'm assuring her I'm not getting on the phone and pitching, and I'm just kind of smoothly asking, hey, I'm doing market research in this area. Do you know any? So Lisa will either say, oh my gosh, that's me. Yeah, sure, I'll help you do market research. Or she'll say, yeah, I do know someone. Or she'll say, yeah, let me think about it. Whatever, right? So the more people you ask, use that script for, the more the more help you'll get. Well, I'm so glad that the concierge has been helpful. They are awesome. Okay. So again, Tabitha, would you give a little copy paste for these guys into the chat of the script so they can fill in the workbook? And that should be in the answer sheet. Or Heather, script is above. Ooh, you fast, girl. I don't know why I'm missing it. Oh, there it is. It's all the way up there. Okay, cool. Here's, again, we are going to talk about more places to find your ICA tomorrow. So don't miss tomorrow. Next thing I want you to fill out on your workbook, do not, and I'm just re-emphasizing this, do not run ICA surveys over email. So write that down. Only over the phone, in Zoom, or in person. I just don't want you to forget that, okay? Here's script number two. So script number 2 comes into play once my neighbor Jane says, yeah, I know somebody, my daughter Marie is actually in that position. Sure, I'll introduce you guys via email. So I get an email from Jane. Maria is on there. And Jane's like, hey, Maria, this is Coach Betty, who I was telling you about. She needs help with market research. I'll let you guys take it from here. So I would reply to the person she connected me with. Hey, Marie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me so I can conduct some market research for my program. So I just don't want to play the game of telephone. I want to make sure Marie understands what the heck this is, because I don't know what Jane told her. So I'm saying, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me so I can conduct some market research for my program. Then I repeat my niche statement, my coach title and my niche statement. I'm a coach specializing in, and then I tell them my niche. I help who with what? Our friend or your mother or your coworker, whoever they are, Jane mentioned that you're considering this. I would love to dig into your challenges and goals with whatever the niche topic is, with your health, with your leadership, with your relationship. This will help inform how I'm running or how I'm going to be building out my coaching program. Would you mind chatting for 20 minutes for a short informational interview? So that's how I'm going to kick it off with the person they introduced me to. That's how I'm going to kick it off. So again, Tabitha has dropped script number 2 in the chat. Okay, grab that, copy right there. So now, right, the person I'm about to run the survey with is like, okay, I get it. Okay, right. So hopefully, so again, what are we calling her? I'm doing all these different names. Jane. So now Jane's like, okay, yeah, we can run the survey. We come up with a time. Let's do it Friday at 3. I'm going to send her an appointment. I'm making this official, etc. Okay. So now I get on the phone with Jane, and as I get on the phone for the ICA survey, I'm going to remind her again, same script. Hey, like literally script number 2, I'm going to say it again once we're on our call. So she remembers, what are we doing here? Why am I here? Who are you? And then I'm going to ask the 4 questions I told you guys to ask. And with each answer, I'm going to dig, especially around the pain point question, the urgent problem. Here is the most important script of all, script number 3. Michael, this should help with your question. Script number 3, here we go. At the end of the ICA survey, Jane, thank you so much again for your time today. This was incredibly helpful. As a thank you, I'd love to extend a complimentary 60-minute coaching session for you on the topic of your choice. We could cover topics such as, and this is the most important part, when you offer someone a complimentary coaching call, they're like, like, I don't really know what I'm signing up for. But when you offer it around their customized, urgent problem that keeps them up at night, she just got finished telling you the urgent problem that keeps you up at night. And now you're turning around and saying, hey, as a thank you, this is a big deal. You helped me. I now want to help you. And so I'm going to say, you mentioned, Jane, your biggest urgent problem was this or this. So I'm going to use her words and say, I could coach you around one of those 2 things that you told me was an urgent problem. And by doing that, she's going to immediately see the value in what a complimentary coaching call would be. Before she even has the call, she's like, wow, you're going to coach me. Or you could say whatever that dream, the goal, the outcome is, right? And now I'm going to get her buy-in. How does that sound? How does that sound? And then I'm going to wait. If she says it sounds good, I'm going to say, perfect. What dates are you free this upcoming week or next? And usually it's even better to give them a couple options. Like I might say, perfect. I have availability this Thursday and Friday between 6 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern. Do either of those times work for you? Sometimes it's best to just give them a couple options. And if they say no, then I let them pick. Sometimes when you just give them the whole schedule, they get overwhelmed. I really, really want to advise you guys. And again, this is on your worksheet on page 6. Worksheet on page 6. So the first part, at the end of each ICA survey, offer a complimentary coaching call. Michael, that's part of the answer to your question. That's part of the answer to your question. At the end of each ICA survey, offer a complimentary coaching call. And we're offering it as a thank you because they did something for us, right? Immediately, this is the last important part before we call it a night. Immediately schedule the complimentary coaching call before you get off the phone. I'm telling you guys, when people say things like, well, I'll check my calendar and get back to you, they may never be, and not because it's like a negative, bad thing. People are busy. People are busy. So I literally would say, okay, great. Let's grab your calendar. I'll wait. Grab your calendar. I'll wait. And let me know which date works best for you. If they say, oh, I'll look at my calendar and get back to you, I'll say, oh, no worries. Grab it right now. I'll wait. So then I can send you an invite and block off that time for you. So it's so important. Schedule. I just can't say it enough. Schedule the complimentary call before you get off the phone, or you may never see them again. People are too busy. Okay. So then you get it scheduled. So bottom line is this, and then we're going to talk about it more tomorrow before we call it a night. So here it is, Michael and everyone else, the way it works. And if my whiteboard's all the way back there, so I'm going to say it. Okay. It looks like this: ICA survey to complimentary coaching call. Then you have the complimentary coaching call. And then at the end of the complimentary coaching call, then we do our pitch. You see how that works? We separate it. And it's not going to be a surprise pitch. It is not going to be a surprise pitch because, and we're going to talk about this, I think we're going to talk about this on day 4. Day 4, we're going to talk about how to turn a complimentary coaching call into a client. We're going to talk about that on day 4. And we're going to let them know ahead of time the agenda of the call. The first 40 minutes, I'm going to coach you on this. The last 20 minutes, we're going to talk about the next steps after we solve a mini problem. We're going to talk about, in the last 20 minutes, the next steps to achieving your bigger goal. And the next steps to achieving the bigger goal is a coaching package with you, right? And all you have to, so I'm not going to go down that route. That's day 4. But Michael, that's the sales funnel. That's the sales funnel. We network. We find an ICA survey. We run the survey. We offer the complimentary coaching call. We schedule it. On the complimentary coaching call, we coach a itty bitty problem that they told us was an issue. And the last 20 minutes, we smoothly transition that into what a coaching package with us would look like. You do not have to have a signature methodology baked out yet. You can customize it based on what they already told you their problems were. They already gave you the answers to what they want to be coached on in the ICA survey. So we're going to get into that day 4. It's going to be awesome. Do not miss day 4. All right, so that's it. I want to announce, drum roll, please, the winner of our drawing for the first giveaway, a $25 Starbucks gift card for you to get caffeinated, which is why every night that you guys see me, I'm all revved up because I had a little bit of coffee. To be eligible, you got to show up live and participate in the live stream. Then you have to post your answer to the homework question in the homework thread, which is in the Facebook group, which you guys need to head over to after tonight's call and answer your homework before the next call. You have 24 hours. Congratulations to Charlene, Jacka, Congratulations. Give it up for Charlene. Throw her some love in the chat. Throw some love in the chat for Charlene. Charlene, I will send you a digital Starbucks gift card so you can stay up late with us. Congrats, congrats. Leah, should we concern ourselves with ICA seeing the value when doing ICA surveys, i.e. someone who wants to quit smoking but can't afford to pay for coaching? Yeah, I think that's a really good question, Leah. And like Heather said, we'll cover that in the rapid fire Q&A. So keep them coming. Keep the questions coming. You guys have a lot of great questions. All right. So that's it. Spend the next day working on, last but not least, your action items in red on your workbook, bottom of page 6. Okay. Action items. I want you to reach out to at least three ICAs. Reach out to at least 3 ICAs. Reach out. So you guys probably know in your head right now, 3 potential people you could do market research with. So do the initial research or reach out. Do the initial reach out. That's homework assignment number 1. If these guys don't respond to you within the next week, I want you to follow up. Everything's in the follow-up. And if they don't respond within the next week, I also want you to reach out to 3 more ICAs. Okay, we're going to start the train running, put the train on the tracks. Number 3, you're going to start running your surveys. And at the end of each survey, schedule a complimentary coaching call. And on day 4, Thursday, we're going to talk about how to run the call and turn it into a sale. All right. And like I said, the bottom action item is attend Wednesday and Thursday workshop calls. Really important. These are the next steps of this system, Wednesday and Thursday, so you can learn where to find prospects, where to find ICAs, and so you can learn how to turn the complimentary coaching call into a paying client. All right, so that's what's next. Those are your action items. Keep the questions coming. Commit to imperfect, consistent, strategic action. Thank you for being here for session 2. We'll see you for session 3 tomorrow, which is all about, and you guys are asking me this, where do I find these people? Where do I find prospects? Where do I find ICAs for ICA surveys? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. And any additional questions you may have, DM your concierge, DM me, or post it in the Facebook group. A lot of people get value out of your questions. All right, guys, a great session tonight. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.